Your business, the one and only reason your business exists is to be a vehicle to help you achieve your life goals. So if that's true, and it is, then we should probably have a vision for our life. We should probably have some specific life goals. But the truth is that you're born to win in all these areas. What about family? We can't we can't control what other people do, but we can decide to be the person that we need to be. And therefore, that at least gives that other person the opportunity to respond to our change. With that said, that we are not supposed to be unsuccessful in any of these areas, then the next question is, how successful are we supposed to be in all of these areas? On a scale of 1 to 10, I believe that you could be a borderline 11. Why? Because when you put God in the middle of your life and you allow him to, because success to me is becoming the person God has created you to be. Now, you may not believe like I believe, and that's fine. We're gonna get into business here in just a second, and all that's fine. But I'm here to tell you that your business not only can have a dramatic impact on your personal life, and the key is to get focused on what you want out of life. What lifestyle do you want to live? How much money do you want to make? What do you want your will to look like? And then designing that business around it. And then I believe I've experienced and I've proven through this training and teaching and this all the stuff that we do that it works for other people. And your business can have a dramatic positive impact on your life. So I wrote this book called 7 Secrets of a Phenomenal Life, and life stands for living in freedom every day. Living in freedom every day. The freedom of knowing you're doing what you're supposed to do, being able to learn the things that you need to learn, and the freedom of knowing that you're living out your life goals, your life purpose. Right, let's look at the business. We're going to cover 5 different areas. These are what I call the 5 secrets. I named this training and this book and everything that I do the 5 secrets of a phenomenal business, because I learned from my mentor, Michael E. Gerber, who Inc. magazine called the #1 small business guru in the world. He said the secret of a business is the system. We'll get to back to those systems in just a minute. But first, you need goals, because goals, you can't hit a target that you can't see. And then next, you need a plan, and then you need systems. I call it GPS, goals, plans, systems. Where do you want to be in your life? Set those life goals. So we need clearly defined goals. Without clearly defined goals, you'll never know where you're going and when and if you ever get there. And then you need a plan. You need a step-by-step plan. And then, of course, we need systems. The one and only reason your business exists is to be a vehicle. So we think of a system as a vehicle, an automobile. We need 5 systems. The first one we need is leadership. The second we need is marketing. The third system that we need is sales. The fourth system we need is operations. And then the 5th one that we need is administration. As we go along, I'll teach you what each one of these systems looks like. But I want you to notice another word: phenomenal systems. What's the difference between leadership and phenomenal leadership? What's the difference between marketing and phenomenal marketing? Well, we're going to find out. 3 things are required. Number 1, you got to have systems. Why? Because systems make everything easier. Just thinking about you guys' business, This is how you this is how you process a phone call. This is how you process a job. This is how you prep the van. This is how you do a seminar. This is how you set up the room. This is how you do a coaching call. This is how you make a sales call. Everything, there's a framework for everything. Number two, you need phenomenal people. I don't care what kind of system you have. How many of you know that if you hire the wrong person, it doesn't matter what kind of system you have? People and processes. How are you going to find, attract, hire, coach, and develop phenomenal people? Is by becoming a phenomenal leader. So let's talk about leadership. How many of you would agree with this statement that everything rises or falls on leadership? Doesn't matter if it's a company, doesn't matter if it's a country, doesn't matter if it's a community, a volunteers, a church. Everything rises or falls on leadership. So the question is, what is leadership? Well, John Maxwell, #1 leadership expert in the world according to Inc. magazine. John Maxwell says that leadership is influence. How many of you have heard that before? Yeah. Well, here's the question. How do you gain influence in someone else's life? By adding value to them. John Maxwell said, if you don't add value to people, you devalue people. One of the most important things that we can learn is that leadership is not the command and control management that we probably all learned over the years. I told them what to do. I showed them how to do it. How come they don't do it? Don't ask me why, just do what I tell you to do. Now, before I tell you that's the dumbest thing you could ever say, let me just tell you that I've said it many times before I understood. Think about this for a second. If I tell you just do what I say, don't ask me why, guess what? They're always going to be dependent upon me. "65 years, figured it out." Leadership is not telling people what to do. Leadership is adding value to people. If they know why, if they know the why, they'll find the way. And then you can work together to find the best way, the right way, the best way. But until you add value to people, they're not going to do what you want them to do. You are not going to have influence in their life. Mr. Ziglar, American legend Zig Ziglar, my friend, the late American legend. He passed away November 28th, 2012. He said this. He said, you can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what it is that they want. So here's the question. What do people want? Well, it turns out that they want the same 9 things out of life. They want to be happy. They want to be healthy. They want to be at least reasonably prosperous. They want to have friends. They want to have peace of mind. They want to have good family relationships. They want to feel secure. They want to have hope for the future. And I love the last one. They want to love and be loved. You want to know why people mess up? They're looking for love. So that old country song says they're just looking for love in all the wrong places. I mean, humans are funny. We'll do almost anything for love. Flossom. So what happens when you help other people get what they want? What happens when the people who come to work for you, your first question before you even hire them is, tell me about your goals? What if the first thing that happens in your business is we share our goals with each other? So you can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what it is that they want. But this is your focus. This is your focus. This is how you attract the right people. This is how you build your network. This is how you attract the right clients and vendors and people around you. And I used to tell Zig when he was with us on the earth, I said, you stole that from Jesus. Because Jesus said, give, and it'll be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. He said, I know him personally, so that'll be all right. Dale Carnegie said, leadership is enlisting the willing cooperation of others to achieve a goal. Two key words here. First is a goal. Dwight Eisenhower said that leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because he or she wants to do it. They want to do it. See, I want to get you out of this program where you got to beg people to do what they're supposed to do, what they get paid to do. What's up with that? Ongoing Gallup employee engagement poll reveals that 70% of American workers are disengaged. 18% of that 70% are actively disengaged, which means that they hate their job. And all this research, guess what it came down to? It came down to one thing: the relationship with their manager, which in a small business example is probably going to be the owner or someone that the owner put in charge. That piece of the study revealed that they would give up 20% of their paycheck to get their manager fired. What? Oh, well, people don't want to work because, they want a lot of money and, the government pays them more than I can. Nope. Stinking thinking. We need to check up from the neck up. All right, here's my definition of leadership. My personal definition of leadership is that leadership is effectively communicating your vision. Well, first of all, you got to have a meaningful vision. Not just that you want to get stinking rich. You want to get filthy rich. Oh, let's build this business so that, I can make more money. But if you do this right and you have a vision that includes everybody, that everybody wins, including our team members, including our clients, including our vendors, everybody wins, then people are going to get engaged. They're going to get around that. Every human being is wired a little bit differently, and every human being has an internal pace. In other words, we have an internal motor. Some of us are like, we wake up, man, we're on fast forward, like that engine is running and we're ready to go. I got stuff to do. I got people to meet. Others are reserved, a little more on idle. Not right or wrong, good or bad, just how you're wired. Like, I'm not going to run out there and run it in the ditch. Like, let me just slow it down a little bit, slow the pace a little bit, make sure I know what's going on. Next question is, are you more task-oriented or people-oriented? In other words, task-oriented people, you make lists. Like, gotta get this done, this done, this done, this done, didn't get that done. So, let me work on that, get that tomorrow. You got that list. People-oriented individuals, like, man, it was so great, getting to see everybody today and getting to know everybody. There's Andy on there and Derek and Coach Katrina. You know she does disc. Peter, and he's known Howard for 75 years. And there's Chad and Johnny and Brian and there was two Chads in our class. Joseph, and I mean, it's just incredible. And there's my friend Catherine. So you're more people oriented. You're not. Most people have a little bit of both, but which way do you lean? This, like, you got the internal pace. What direction do you normally lean? Not while you're at work, not while you're, just naturally speaking. This is how you're wired. Here's one illustration that might help you in case you're 50-50. You walk out of your home and there's a neighbor walking by. If you're highly task oriented and you got a lot to do, you might slip back in the house and hope and pretend you didn't see them. Hope they didn't see you because you got stuff to do. If you're more people oriented, you might be like, she might have saw me. By the way, I want to find out how that block party was Saturday night because I wasn't able to be there because I was at two other parties. Or I heard Aunt Mary was sick. I wouldn't be able to live with myself, but I didn't ask her, how Aunt Mary's doing, and the work can wait. This gives us what we call the DISC model of human behavior. So you have outgoing and reserved, task and people. Now everybody's a combination, but most people have one dominant trait, okay? You can see it in the way they walk, you can see it in the way they talk. Everybody's a combination. We have different degrees of these traits. So let's look at outgoing task first. This is the dominant style, or D for short. You just want results, like let's get it done, like yesterday. That's why your color is green. Let's go. That's why your symbol is exclamation point. Everything is urgent. On the right side, outgoing, people oriented, inspiring type. If you're outgoing and people, you're inspiring, you're influencing, you're also impressionable because you love people. You like recognition, like you like being the star of the show. Therefore, we've got your symbol there. You're the star of the show. And the color is red because you're full of passion. Reserved, people oriented, moving down bottom right, is our supportive, or S for short, supportive type, S for short. The color's blue for calm because supportive people, S types, are more about the relationship. D's want results, I's want recognition, S's want to support you. They want meaningful relationships. They don't like conflict. They like teamwork. Their symbol is plus or minus because they can see the good and the bad in any situation. And then over here, left, bottom left, is cautious type, and then reserved and task oriented, cautious type, or C for short. You're cautious, you're careful, because you want everything to be right. You want everything to be correct. So the color is yellow for caution. Let's be careful. And the symbol is an exclamation point. A question mark, because you have a lot of questions. You want to ask a lot of questions. I'm a DI. Very little S on my chart. I have a lot of S, I use a lot of S, I should say, because I love people. It's part of my value system. But it's not my natural strengths. These are strengths and weaknesses. My strengths are I get an enormous amount of stuff done. Like I get a ton of stuff done, and D's expect other people to do the same thing. But we got to understand that everybody's different. I got a lot of eyes, so if I need to turn it on, bad jokes and all, I can do that. Okay. Here's the major point. The major point is this: leadership is effectively communicating your vision. These four styles speak a different language. How do you communicate with a D? Get to the point. How do you communicate with an I? Make it fun. How do you communicate with an S? Slow it down. Be safe, sincere, slow it down, and go slow with them. How do you communicate with a C? Data. Don't give them any fluff. Don't give them anything that's not exactly, that hasn't been researched. By the way, the DISC model of human behavior that we use, Dr. Robert Rome is the top in the world. And this DISC model of human behavior, this assessment that you're going to take, has been scientifically validated. Unfortunately, there are many DISC assessments out there that have never been validated. They're not actually correct, even if the person promoting them is very popular. But what is phenomenal leadership? Phenomenal leadership delivers a meaningful experience that inspires the team to implement. Simon Sinek said that a leader's responsibility is to create the right environment of growth. So if you put all this together, you learn how to find the right people. Patrick Lencioni said the ideal team player is humble, hungry, and smart. Don't hire anybody who's not humble, hungry, and smart. They can be humble but not hungry. They can be humble but not smart. And what we mean by smart is people smart. They have a high level of emotional intelligence. You can hire smart, hungry people who aren't humble and they'll just run over people. You can hire people who don't have all those three. Find the right people and you're going to attract them through how you treat them. How do you inspire people? By the way you treat them. That you're actually a business owner that cares about people, that cares about their goals. You have that conversation before you even go through the hiring process to make sure we're going to be a right fit. We have the right values.